Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. K. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, Public Administration, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today we are discussing the management, scientific management, F.W. Taylor. Scientific management theory or approach by F.W. Taylor. In this topic, we covered the topics are objectives, introduction, life and work, causes for low productivity in organization, objectives of scientific management, mechanisms of management, then impact of scientific management, conclusion. Objectives of the scientific management theory or approach, whatever it may be. The objectives are to understand the basic ideas of scientific management. To understand the basic ideas of scientific management. Then describe the principles of scientific management. Describe the principles of scientific management. Then recognize mechanism and impact of scientific management. Recognize mechanism and impact of scientific management. Introduction. After industrial revolution, rapid expansion of industries and business. After industrial revolution, rapid expansion of industries and business. It gives new problems of industrial planning and management. There was need to increase productivity, which required in the long run a more rational and integrated approach to managerial problem. During the later half of the 19th century, when the industrial revolution had reached a stage of maturity, the rapid expansion of business and industry were giving a rise to new problems of industrial planning and management. The working conditions in the factories were chaotic. The work methods, tools, and procedures were neither standardized nor planned for efficiency. The choice of method of work was mainly left to the workers themselves, resulting in considerable and org planning and efficiency. There was need to increase productivity, which required in the long run a more rational and integrated approach to managerial problems. Rapid industrialization had given rise to new managerial class who were being called upon to face new problems not encountered earlier. In order to fulfill this need and find ways to raise industrial productivity, many experiments were conducted and prescriptions were developed by management thinkers. One such body of theory and practice is scientific management approach. The term scientific management is used to designate a body of theory and practice directed towards more rational and efficient performance in industry. While it was used originally with reference to direct efforts to increase the productivity of labor, the application of the term has since been extended to include the basic factors in the process of production as a whole. The term was originally coined the scientific management. Sorry, I mentioned in that word bureaucracy. It is not. Bureaucracy is not. Scientific management. The word, the term, not bureaucracy, the scientific management, coined by Louis Brandeis. Louis Brandeis in 1910. It was later developed into full-fledged theory by Frederick Winslow Taylor, F.W. Taylor. Then life and work of Taylor. He was born in Boston, USA in 1856. In 1878, he joined in Midwell Steel Company as mechanical engineer. Using his engineering background, Taylor set out scientific studies and techniques. He is primarily concerned about the efficiency of Weber's optimum utilization resources. His principles based on observation, experiment, experience in factories. Frederick Winslow Taylor was born in 1856 at Boston. As a student, he was keen on taking up a career in law, but his physician had advised him against further studies because of his weak vision. As a result, Taylor had abandoned his plans to study law and he initiated his career as an apprentice in enterprise. Hydraulic works Philadelphia. He worked there for 4 years, during which period he completed his apprenticeship. He joined the Midwell Steel Company in Philadelphia as a machinist in 1978 and rose to the position of chief engineer in 1884 at the age of 28 only. While working in Midwell Steel Works, Taylor realized certain shortcomings of factory operations, which he subsequently referred to in his writings. For instance, management had no clear concept of workers' management responsibilities. Virtually no effective work standards were applied. No incentive was used to improve workers' performance. Manager decisions were based on hunch, intuition, past experience, or rule of thumb. Evaluations and workers were inevitably placed at tasks for which they had no ability or aptitude were some of the shortcomings discovered by the Taylor in factories. Then Taylor began a series of experiments which lasted for more than 2 decades. He experimented with machine tools. He experimented machine tools, speed metal, and like. In fact, one line of his experiment led to discovery of high-speed steel, which made him well known. Other experiments pertained to the way men handled material, machines, and tools, which led him to development of a coordination system of shop management. He later expanded his concepts and philosophy, which ultimately had a major effect on the development of management thought. It is due to these pioneering contributions that Taylor has been acknowledged as the father of the scientific management approach. Taylor presented his paper, A Piece Rate System, in 1895, where he described the system of management that he had developed. He mentioned certain principles that must be used in any system of wage payment where differential rewards was offered. In 1903, In 1903, he presented his second paper, Shop Management, which attention is philosophy of management rather than on wage payment. Taylor published Principles of Scientific Management in 1911, and his other contribution was Testimony before the Special House Committee, which was given in 1912. These two works were combined in one book entitled Scientific Management in 1947. Causes for low productivity in organization. The belief of the workers that any increase in output would inevitably result in unemployment. Then the improper remuneration system which reflect on production. Then the effort wasting methods of work followed by the workers. Taylor tried to find an answer to these questions. Why is there is so much antagonism between the management and the workers and so much inefficiency in industry? Taylor identified these important causes for the low production in the organizations. The belief of the workers that any increase in output would inevitably result in unemployment. The improper remuneration system of management which did not motivate the worker to increase his productivity. The effort wasting methods of work followed by the workers. Then Taylor conceived it to be the aim of scientific management to overcome these obstacles. Then objectives of scientific management. Industrial process can be reduced to units for scientific observation and experiments. The standard time prescribed for each operation can be used as the task for each workman to achieve. The workman can be instructed in the best methods for achieving the standards and responsibility. Such instructions should be in foreman hands. The workman can be inspired to accept new methods to achieve performance standards. These were 5 original objectives of the scientific management. The industrial process can be reduced to units for scientific observation and experiments. The operation of workmen can be reduced to fundamental motions to ascertain in longest, shortest and average time required for each motion. The standard time prescribed for each operation can be used as the task for each workman to achieve. Each unit of product can be produced at a designated standard of efficiency and at a standard cost. The workman can be instructed in the best methods for achieving the standards, and the responsibility of imparting such instructions should be in the hands of foremen or supervisors. Then the workman can be relieved the workman can be relieved of the responsibility for determining how a process is to be performed, and thereby enable them to concentrate on the development of their mental dexterities. Then the workman can be inspired to accept new methods and to acquire dexterity in carrying out the specification to achieve performance standards. Then, principles of scientific management. Principles of scientific management. Development of a true science of work. Development of a true science of work. Scientific selection. Scientific selection. Training and development of workers. Then bringing together the science of work and scientifically selected and trained men. Then division of responsibility between management and workers. Science, not rule of thumb. Harmony, not discord. Cooperation, not individualism. Maximum output in place of restricted output. The development of each work man to his greatest efficiency and prosperity. This is principles of scientific management. In order to solve the problems that he identified in the industry and achieve the objectives of scientific management, Taylor advocated the following principles of scientific management. That first one is development of a true science of work. The principle suggests that the work assigned to any employee should be observed and analyzed with respect to each element or part and the time involved in it, so as to decide the best way of performing the work and to determine the standard output. This basic principle of scientific management requires the application of scientific methods should replace rule of thumb methods. Then scientific selection, training and development of workmen. It is essential for efficiency in production that workers should be selected with due care. Their skill and experience must be matched with the requirements of the respective jobs they are to perform. The employees should be selected on the basis of tests and interviews. The workmen so selected must be given training for the specific tasks assigned. Training must also be arranged to develop their abilities to improve performance. Then bringing together the science of work and scientifically selected and trained men to enable the workers to do a job and ensure that you may not slip back to the earlier method of doing works. There must be somebody to inspire the workers. This Taylor felt is the exclusive responsibility of the management. He believes that workers are always willing to cooperate with the management, but there is no more opposition from the side of management. Lay I or maintain that this process of bringing together causes the mental revolution. The division of responsibility between management and workers. Planning of work should be the responsibility of managers and the execution of planned work. The responsibility of workers. Taylor advocated separation of the two kinds of responsibilities so that each individual may be able to perform the task to the best of his abilities and be compensated accordingly. Thus, efficiency of performance of managers as well workers may be secured. However, none of these principles could be isolated and called scientific management. It is combination of all elements described above. The philosophy of the principles may be summarized in order as under the science, not rule of thumb. Science, not rule of thumb. It is not a rule of thumb. Harmony, not discord. Cooperation, not individual. Cooperation is not individual. It is among all management as well as workers in the organization in the industry. Maximum output in place of restricted output. When you apply the scientific methods, it is reflect that is maximum output in place of restricted output. The development of each man to his greatest efficiency and prosperity. It is also one another important principle of scientific management. Then principles of operation. Principles of operation. In order to successfully implementation in the philosophy of the above stated principles in actual working of an organization, Taylor advocated the following principles of operation. These are method study, motion study, time study, standard, piece rates, differential piece rate, functional supervision, and mental revolution, etc. Method study. Method study involves determination of the basic steps in performing a job. Motion study. After the appropriate method to complete tasks are laid down, then the best way to do the determined, i.e., that is motion study. The motion study is to a preparable work method with consideration to raw materials, tools, and equipments, hand and body motion. Time study After the method study and the motion study completed the standards, time for the completion of the task is determined, that is time study. Time study is a fixing of appropriate time to complete a task after the prepared way is determined. Standard, the logical step that follows after the motion study, and time study is the determination of standard. Taylor defined standard as the level at which a first class worker would perform under ideal conditions. That is standard according to him. Piece rate. After the determination of standard, the management has to fix a pay package based on piece rates. Under this system, a worker is paid according to the number of pieces that he produces. Differential piece rate. Taylor advocated a pay plan based on piece rates. This was known as the differential piece rate plan. Under this system, a worker was paid a low piece rate up to standard, a large bonus on reaching standard, and a higher piece rate after standard. The functional supervision. Taylor thought that planning and other management functions that formerly were often done by workmen ought to be done by specialists. The management of work, he thought ought to be separated from its execution. In the case of a production shop, Taylor suggested 8 functional foremans. These are gang boss, speed boss, inspector, repair boss, order of work, and routine clerk. Instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, and shop discipliner. Taylor suggested these 8 functional foremans. In Taylor said that each worker would have 8 specialized supervisors. Those are gang boss, speed boss, inspector, repair boss, order of work and route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, and shop discipliner. Then mental revolution. The principal object of, according to Taylor, is to secure the maximum prosperity the employer. Coupled with the maximum prosperity per employee, his philosophy of scientific management is that there is no inherent conflict in the interest of the employers, workers, and consumers. The primary concern of Taylor was that the result of higher productivity should equally benefit all, i.e., workers, means example, workers, employers, and consumers in the shape of higher wages to the workers, greater profits to the management, and payment of lower prices for the products by the customers, consumers. To quote Reinhard Bendix, by maximizing the productivity efficiency of each worker, scientific management would also maximize the earning of workers and employees. Hence, all conflicts between capital and labor would be resolved by the finding of a science. Then mechanisms of management. Mechanisms of management. Use of stopwatch, which was essential for the time study. These are the mechanisms of management. Use of stopwatch, which was essential for the time study. Then standard for all tools and techniques. Standard for all tools and techniques. Then planning of a large daily task. Then use of time saving devices, slide rules. Then use of instruction card. Then adoption of proper classification system. Then use of bonus system. Then promotion of modern costing system. It is important to note that Taylor distinguished between principles of management and mechanism of management. Some of the mechanisms advocated by the Taylor were these are the that is the use of stopwatch, the use of stopwatch, which was essential for the technique of the time study. Standardization of all tools and techniques used in trades. Then planning of large daily tasks should be undertaken in order to promote industrial efficiency. Therefore, Taylor forwarded the setting up of a separate planning cell or a department in every industrial unit. That is one planning department. Now it is a R&D, research and development. It is nothing but planning department. The use of time saving devices, example slide rules. Money, one title, one slide rule is that is time is money, time is gold, just like that. Then use of instruction card system to record what to do and how to do particular tasks. Then adoption of proper classification system of manufacture the products as well as implements used in the manufacturing process. Then use of bonus system for the essential performance of the tasks. If you give bonus, they will give to perfectly they performed, and then after the production will also increase. Then application of the exemption principle under the which Taylor called for setting up a large daily task with rewards for meeting it and penalty for not achieving the targets. Then promotion of modern costing system. These are the mechanisms for management. If it will implement, he proved, he experimented in the industries, then after they will give rapid productions in the factories and industries. Then impact of scientific management. Impact of scientific management. It is significant. It is significant that scientific management brought a drastic change in the management of industries. Overall improvement in the industries, A to Z in the improvement, overall improvement in the industries. That is the impact of scientific management. Then improving opportunities to laborers and better position, higher wages, limited hours, better working conditions, etc. of the impacts of the scientific management. The impact scientific management was felt not only on laborers but also on management also. It is the important of the scientific management. It is a significant to mention that scientific management brought a drastic change in the whole approach towards the management of industries. The impact of the movement was felt through the overall improvement in industrial management. Through it, wastage of human and material resources was minimized. Wastage of human and material resources was minimized. It is also helped in effecting a better and effective utilization of labor and material. Same minimize of human and material resources. Wasting minimize of human and material resources. Same at the time. It is also helped in effecting a better and effective utilization of labor and material. Besides, increasing opportunities were provided to labor by placing the workers in better position, giving them higher wages, limiting their working hours, and above all creating better working conditions for them. That is the impact of scientific management. Then the impact of scientific management was felt not only on laborers but also on management. More accurate control system and planning was evolved. The movement also provided guidelines to the management to develop an effective organization. Notably, Taylor was probably the first management thinker to stress the concept of research and use of standards in management. It was he who emphasized the importance of planning, which had been overlooked for many years, and the concept of control in management. In addition to the above four postulates are research, standards, maintenance, planning, and control. Taylor introduced the guidelines for cooperation between labor and management. These 5 principles form the base of every successful management. That's why we are treating him as the father of the scientific management. F.W. Taylor was the father of the scientific management approaches. In conclusion, the scientific management become something of movement and has spread even to German, England, Russia, France, etc. Scientific management has become something of a movement and has spread even to Germany, England, Russia, France, etc. nations. Then the greatness of theory is in the fact that it has continued theory and practice. Why? Because he practiced, he experimentalized in the factories. He applied his principles, his mechanisms in the industries. Then after the result proved. That is the greatness of the theory is in the fact that it has continued theory and practice. In fact, that techniques of management, orientation, operation research, methods, time study, system analysis, management by objectives, etc. are all a part of Taylor heritage only. That's why we treating him. It is a great theory. That's why we treating him as a father of the scientific management theory. That is F.W. Taylor. F.W. Taylor was the father of the scientific management theory. Thank you.